This is going to be a rather structured episode compared to many of our others. It's going to happen in two parts. Because the all high school club open house happens in two parts. Part one, the four of you will each be with your clubs, but the doors are open. So you're going to be engaged in regular club business, and people who are not yet in an extracurricular might pop their head in and observe. But then actually, it's up to you all. Is it at lunch or is it at like the end of the day? Will the actual open house be?
End of day.
End
After
of day.
school.
Yeah, you don't want to do anything on an empty stomach.
No, that's true. So there's going to be this big, it's banana day. So it's going to be this kind of big thing in the cafeteria at the end of the day. But throughout the day, you'll all be with your clubs working on various club things. I will also tell you this. You are going to be making 2 rolls today.
That's it?
You might make some more. Okay. But the way it's going to work is this, and I'm laying all of this out right at the beginning here. There are currently 5 key characters that you can. Yeah, let's keep this up for a second for the viewers at home. There are 5 key characters that the 4 clubs that you are all a part of can recruit today. Maxwell Horn, the hard-boiled teenage detective. Eagle Patience, the exchange student from the frozen norths of Canada. Slam Seismic, a really fun person made of rocks. Arno the Player, probably the best pure blaseballer in all of the greater Boston area. And Susie Chen, the incredibly complicated sophomore that you have all known and interacted with in various ways over the last several years of your lives. So depending on which club recruits which person, it will trigger at some point in this season a specific adventure. The adventures are named in that grid. So here are the 2 rolls you're going to do. You're going to make a roll for kind of the day, and then you're going to make a roll for whatever presentation you do during the open house. The roll that you make during the day is just 2d6 plus vibes.
Oh.
And after you make that roll, you are going to either lock it in or push until the end of the day to try to beat it. That roll will determine the order in which you recruit these targets. It is not competitive, of course. It's all collaborative.
Okay.
But there will be an order.
Nobody was arguing about this in the group chat earlier.
People having conversations about things that could happen, or maybe things that won't. Because essentially the grid is 20 potential stories. You are going to get 4 of them. So that's what this is going to be.
The last one dies.
It is a horror show.
It is a horror show.
Just kidding. Right?
So that's the story.
Well, roll high.
Mm-hmm. So again, you're going to make a roll on vibes right after the first part, and you're going to say, let's lock it in, or I'm going to re-roll for open house. So like a lot might rely on whatever you will choose to do. The first roll is vibes. The second roll is TBD. So let's get started. We're going to start in the hall monitors. Mindy, you are in the headquarters of the hall monitors. The headquarters is the security station. It is in the basement level of Somerville High School, in specifically the utilities wing. I need you to describe headquarters for me.
It's extremely organized. Every hall monitor gets their own desk, and we get to decorate it with one framed picture however we like. I mean, the picture can be whatever we like. And
Do you want to share what your picture is?
my picture is me and my family, me and my dad's and my nana on vacation.
Nice. What you are doing is, so it's very, very organized. It really almost looks like a kind of like a classic 70s TV show police precinct down here. Like desks, single picture on each one, like just the sound in the distance of things being like typed up.
Each desk has a bottom drawer you can pull out that has like the things to hold files in it. Mine doesn't have any files in it yet, except for one marked training.
Yeah. And you're working your way through that file and doing a job of it, a good job of it. So what you're doing today, so Coriander Balson, known also as the observant angel Muriel, who has been watching Darby O'Darcy for several years, is one of the two kind of functional captains of the hall monitors, along with Lisa Lemonwedge, who's kind of the upper captain. Lisa Lemonwedge, her approach to recruiting today, so to speak, is to not have an approach. What she wants is just a regular day at the office. So Mindy, it's up to you to determine what a regular day at the office is. There are a couple of options. You can give me a third. Are you currently investigating something? Are you doing improvements to the office somehow? Are you improving your headquarters? Or is there a third thing?
Well, I'm, to be honest, still kind of working through my training reading. It's a lot. But I'd also love to try and casually grab a word with Lisa Lemonwedge at some point. I'm not trying to bother her because I know she's busy, but
yeah, Lisa Lemonwedge, who was wearing suspenders today, is sitting at her desk, leaned back in this kind of big leather chair, leafing through a list of suspects. The crime of which you are not entirely sure, but there's a big list of suspects. And every so often, she kind of takes one of the pictures out and puts it on her desk. Mathers.
Oh, Hello, Lisa. Sorry, I know you're doing important work.
Everything we do is important, including this conversation. And she kind of, with authority, kind of closes the folder, puts it down, places her hands on both the desk, and makes thoughtful, bordering on intense eye contact with you.
Hey, I was just thinking, I know that I'm going to be helping with the club table later, and I feel like I don't have a great sense of the plan.
Well, what I diagrammed, and she points to, there's this big cork board that normally is covered in various like pictures and index cards with twine stretched between them and question marks everywhere. All of that's been taken down, and instead there's just a single picture pinned up, and it is a picture of a table with a tablecloth on it and a sign that says hall monitors and a stack of free pencils. I mean, I think the table diagram's pretty clear. What do you have a question on?
Right. I guess while I'm at the table, I'm not really sure what I should be saying, or if I should be like looking for something in particular from the people I speak to. Does that make sense?
I suppose it does. It's easy to forget you haven't been doing this as long as I have. I've been doing it about 3 3/4 years. You've been doing it for about 4 days.
Right.
So
Sorry.
it's my fault in just assuming that everything was as straightforward as it is. Well, let me ask you, why did you join the Hall Monitors? Let's start there.
Well, I joined the Hall Monitors to make a positive difference in my community. I guess, I don't know, maybe I kind of missed our Little League days a little bit, and this felt like something close to protect people.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
That is what we do here.
That
Right?
is what we do here. That is exactly what we do here. Because high school is a dangerous place, because the world is a dangerous place. And where Blittle League leaves off and the traveling team leaves off, this magnet school steps in. And we are the ones that keep it safe and strong. You would think that people could glean all of that from just the word Hall Monitors, but I think sometimes it is nice to speak it out.
I guess I have a worry that maybe some people might be attracted to the Hall Monitors to be in charge, or to, get dismissed early from some classes like we do, or to have access to the full school building like we do.
Coriander Balson kind of laughs at that moment, not in a dismissive, you said something wrong way, but just a laughter of incredulity that anyone would join the Hall Monitors for so selfish a reason. She is, of course, an angel, and everything is very cut and dry. Mathers, how about this? She takes down the picture of the table and folds it neatly in half and puts it into the top drawer of her desk. She then takes out a blank sheet of paper and hands it to you. You have between now and the end of the day to come up with something big, profound, and meaningful for the Hall Monitors table.
I don't know if that's something that
All
I
right.
should.
Sounds good.
I really didn't mean for this. Okay.
Mindy, give me 2d6 plus sharp.
10.
So you notice a couple of things. One, the other Hall Monitors in here are all working. People are coming in. They're taking tours of the Hall Monitor desks, things like that. But a couple of things were interesting. One, there was, and you didn't really realize it right away, kind of a smallish crowd of like 3 or 4 students kind of gathered in a cluster listening to you talk to Lisa Lemonwedge about why you joined, like the virtue of it. Like, not just because it reminds you of Blittle League, but because, you're protecting people, you're helping people, you're solving things. And that was pretty meaningful to a few people. You also notice, leaning in the doorway, Susie Chen drinking a can of chocolate milk and just kind of watching you. The second you turn to start making you kind of look at her in total, and as you're about to like actually make eye contact with her, she turns and starts to leave.
I am going to go back to my desk, and I am going to focus on creating a good plan for this table.
Okay. So the thing that you showed to the visitors coming in, is the fact that the hall monitors are a virtuous group that have joined you included for the right reasons. So 2d6 plus vibes. The hall monitors have a +1 to vibes.
Oh, 6.
Do you want to lock in that 6, or do you want to let it ride and have a big showing at the open house?
Oh, I won't lock in the 6.
6 is not locked in.
I need to plan more. That was just off the cuff. That wasn't even, I didn't even have time to think about it. I could write something way better.
And you plan on it. And so there you are, sitting at your desk, staring at the tyranny of the blank page.
Oh, God.
Let's switch to the Literary Guild. The Literary Guild.
I just want to say one thing. It was very, like, I felt so like, 6. It's like the first time.
Is it competitive?
It's pretty competitive.
This is not competitive.
It's not.
This is simply an order in which you all choose which ice cream flavor you want this season.
And everybody can only pick
Everybody can only pick one.
Yeah, Susie Chen is only one flavor.
The Literary Guild, up on floor 3, the enrichment wing, specifically the library. It is a beautiful day outside, crisp early fall. So the librarian, we have not yet talked about the librarian here, I believe. The librarian is named Daddy-ol Father.
Daddy-ol Father.
Daddy-ol Father. Daddy-ol Father is the kind of the long time librarian here at the school. Daddy-ol Father, there is a rumor that that Daddy-ol or Dad for short has like published books and is a writer and all of this, but has published everything under a pen name, and he will not tell anyone what it is. So
we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the kind of like ongoing rumors when you join the Literary Guild is that, you know, Daddy-ol Father is actually famous. He's wildly rich. He doesn't need to be here. He's here because he loves literature. You know, you heard someone swear once that they saw like him and like famed horror author Mortis Callisto like in Harvard Square together once, like having a drink.
I'm sorry, which square?
Harvard Square. Sorry.
Okay.
Mortis Callisto in Harvard Square.
Throat is dry here.
It had to have been at night.
Mm-hmm. So you're but you know, Daddy-ol is like a really, you know, interesting, super supportive librarian and also advisor for the Literary Guild. Daddy-ol, you know, has kind of laid out the year for the Literary Guild. In the spring, the Literary Guild is writing an original play. That's kind of the big thing of the year. But between now and the holidays, the big holiday break, there's going to be a smaller event, and that's going to be the Somerville Short Story Slam. In which every Literary Guild member is going to present an excerpt from their short story in front of the school. So this is what Daddy-ol Father kind of wanted, thought it would be a good thing to do for kind of the pop in, pop out part of the day, is just have everyone in the Literary Guild form up a writer's circle and do kind of a writing workshop for short stories.
Mm-hmm.
So, Toodle-hoo is, you know, standing on her, she's sitting in a chair, but it's on a larger chair. So she gets out of the little chair and just kind of stands on the large chair, and is kind of wrapping up her, her kind of description of what she thinks her story should be. Yeah, and so I think, my first punk concert's kind of an interesting thing to write about because, I had to sneak in and I stayed in the back, but I worked up the urge to get into the mosh pit. And so I did. And I think it's a story of transforming into the person you are meant to be. So I welcome any feedback. She says in a way that makes it seem like she is not welcoming feedback.
Cool. I think it sounds amazing. It's like a coming of age while you're coming of age, but when you come of age before everyone else because you're, an owl. So you grow up faster. So I think it sounds amazing. And also, if you ever want to go into a mosh pit again, I am totally game.
2d6 plus charm.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, an 8. That's not too bad.
All right,
for
that's
charm
pretty
for
good.
me.
Tootle remains doubtful that, and that's the thing is, as you are highly observant and a scholar of the human condition and possess extra human, extra human perception when it comes to feeling and emotion and stuff. It's very interesting because when it comes to just like two people sitting and talking, you're not necessarily always the most convincing.
No.
So it's one of those things where you like absolutely understand what's going on in someone's brain, but you're not always able to like change the mind unless you take them, upstairs to your office, and then people's minds change really fast. So where you think it kind of leaves off is that Tootle is going to stick with the plan, but she is still a little apprehensive about kind of like fully spilling her emotional guts in terms of this kind of short story. Like she could make it very surface level, or she could kind of dive into like pathos and feelings, and you're not sure if she's there yet.
Yeah, it's a process. Like really digging into that vulnerability is a whole process, and I think she's going to get there.
It's a process. And then she sits down in her little chair. Librarian Daddy or Father, gestures over to you, Darby, and says, well, Darby, have you formulated any ideas?
Yeah, I have a bunch of ideas. I don't know exactly which one I'm going to do yet. There's like too many in my mind, but right now I've been leaning a little bit toward maybe doing one on my guardians and like their life before me and after me, because I don't know, I appreciate them a lot, but I feel like I've never really taken a whole lot of time to like ask them about their lives, but they've asked me a lot about my life before them, and so it just seems like a good opportunity to do that. Does that sound okay?
Using the short story exercise as an excuse to get to know your guardians better sounds like a fantastic idea. I think it's up to you to decide whether you want it to be a very down the middle telling of their tale, who they are as people, or if you want to put some kind of spin on it, some kind of angle. Is it just are you cataloging who they are as people, or are you going to do something that casts two interesting textured adults in a unique and interesting light? That is a question texture. I cannot answer for you.
Dad, terrific. There will be texture.
I have been promised texture, so I expect texture.
You got it, Dad.
Okay. It's rather comforting to like call Some people call him Mr. Father, some people call him Librarian Father, some people call him Dad.
I'm one
but
of the
either
only
way,
ones
it's
who I
very
don't have
comforting.
another. I don't call anybody else dad.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like a super supportive guy. So yeah, you are then kind of folded into giving advice to a bunch of other students that are sitting there. And you're not going to know this until like lunchtime when you gather up with the rest of the Sunflowers and talk about this. But like, this is very well attended. There are like a lot of people, a lot of other students here. So there are a lot of people kind of sharing ideas, not necessarily because they want to join, but they're probably they're hoping to join.
There are also really good snacks.
Oh my God. Yeah, the snacks are tremendous.
It seemed at first like maybe some of them were just coming for the cupcakes. But they're sharing.
Yeah. Actually, it's on the strength of those cupcakes that we're going to have you make your vibes roll. So the vibes for the Literary Guild is a flat 0. So this is just 2d6. Tell me what you get.
11.
Ooh.
Would you like to lock that in?
Lock it in.
The 11 is locked in.
Oh man.
I'm jealous.
With 0 vibes.
0
Those
vibes.
cupcakes.
Cupcakes for a good idea.
Yeah.
Tootle made them. Along with Jess, who was so excited. All of you were getting nonstop pictures last night of like the baking process. And so it's really exciting. Like, Jess built a machine and there was a whole thing. And so there are cupcakes ranging in size from like this big to this big, and they're all delicious. So yeah, there are cupcakes, you're giving advice. Arno the player stops in at some point and he tells you kind of what his idea is, and you like tweak it a little bit and kind of ask him, you give him sage advice, and Arno is like very appreciative of it. Eagle Patience stops in. And yeah, it ends up just being like a really good, like fruitful morning that is immediately followed by all of you grabbing vacuums and vacuuming up all the crumbs in the library. But you're feeling very good about the overall vibes.
Mm-hmm.
The vibes made the Literary Guild seem very, very, very welcoming. Okay, let's move to the Fictitious Government Society. This is, kind of a raucous one. The faculty advisor of the faculty. Oh yeah, this is perfect. The faculty advisor for the Fictitious Government Society is Steve Bland, who is unfortunately very bland. And Morgan, you have spent the whole time thinking to yourself, like, is this guy going to be a liability in recruiting? Because here's the thing, like, Steve Bland is a government teacher, teaches like government civics, and played Blittle League at some point. But his big claim to fame is he worked in the State House for a while. And so he is like this incredibly procedure-oriented person. So the Fictitious Government Society is run with the care, pomp, circumstance, and bureaucracy of an actual State House legislature. So what's going on today is a big debate, kind of a big floor debate here, in which a fictitious proposal has been proposed, and everyone who wants to is speaking for or against prior to a big vote. So, Morgan, here's what we're going to do. All right, Joey, I need you to put a poll in the chat next 60 seconds. And the two options are for or against. Morgan, you are going to choose the topic of debate. The chat will decide whether you're about to argue the for or the against.
Also, can I get the can people buy votes with channel points?
Yeah.
All right. You can buy votes with $10,000 a vote, or 10,000 boobs a vote. So what's the question?
Yeah. So Morgan, what is the fictitious government society debating today?
Whether or not we should put ad space on the back of the school bus seats.
Nice.
Wow.
So
What a great answer.
Add space on the back of school bus seats. That is absolutely perfect. So the the poll will be set up hopefully shortly, and
Truly an American debate.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, there's a lot of money in these politics. There's a shocking amount of money in these politics.
Which makes sense. That's why you can buy a vote. Okay. This house believes schools should put ad space on bus seat. Poll started. 60 seconds. Go. Vote on Twitch.
So Morgan, you're deciding. I mean, you already know if you're going to be deciding if you're going to be arguing for or against. But the Morgan knows. Marissa doesn't know yet. So the kind of debate is happening. It's really, really interesting.
It's going back and forth. This is great.
This is very exciting.
3 seconds.
Franklin Coin is all for it. Franklin Coin from Blittle League. He was on the Quincy Qualls, won the championship. Franklin Coin is very much just focused on results. So he 4 wins.
4. And YOLO Man also bought a vote.
Wow, nice way to go, YOLO Man. So Franklin Coin argues for, and you're pretty sure that Franklin Coin believes it too. Like, he thinks it's a good idea. Franklin Coin not only is arguing for because, he was told to argue for, but also he's like, it's good. Money is money. We need it. We can buy things.
Well, his name has money in it.
His name has money in it.
That's true.
Which is something he brings up as as kind of a joke, but somehow articulates his point. Canterbury Chill argues the against. Canterbury, as you remember, friend of Vespa Blatmasters, always on the cautious side, doesn't want to rock the boat. So that's really the big argument: is why should we head into the unknown? So you, Morgan, regardless of what you personally believe, have been charged with arguing the for. So what's happening is you've got a big group of non-fictitious government society people in here. The faculty advisor, Steve Bland, is making an exception. Everyone's going to vote on the measure in here after your speech. So there are a lot of people in here, including people who have taken a break from their own clubs because they knew you were talking. Mindy, Zlobs, and Darby, who are here watching your speech. But yeah, a good chunk of the school is kind of here for this all at the same time. So Morgan, you have the floor.
I stand up, scan the room. I I notice Zlobs, no Darcy waving. I almost raised my hand, but decided not to remain stoic. What happens here today will change none of our lives. The advertisements in the back of these buses will be from our community, and we'll see them and we'll know them, just like all of us who come here on a daily basis know them. But the money that will be provided from these advertisements, we can give that to those who can't be at the school. We can make a difference with that advertising in ways that we could never make while in here. Because unfortunately, high school is a dangerous place, just like the real world is a dangerous place. And if we can't be everywhere at once, this is one way that we can help. And that's why I'm for putting advertisements on the back of seats in school buses. With that money, we can make a difference in places we can never make in here.
Yeah, there is applause, which after all of the previous speeches, there's just been kind of like nodding.
Mm-hmm.
You get applause.
I throw a congratulatory banana onto the stage.
Nice.
Zlobs, people are going to think that's a negative thing.
No, it's a good thing. Everyone, it's a good thing. It's banana day.
After a couple of seconds, a bunch of people, especially other freshmen that think Zlobs is the absolute coolest, like start rummaging around in their backpacks for bananas, and they start throwing them. And if they don't have bananas, various snacks from their lunch. So here's how this is going to work. Morgan, you're going to make 2 rolls, Morgan. One, if you choose to, you can roll 2d6 plus charm to actually get this passed as a school policy. Like, if your speech, if you want to, could be so good that there's a groundswell of support that actually raises up to the level of staff. Would you like to do that?
No.
Okay. So you give a really, really profound speech. And it's really, really good. Now the other part of it is the vibes check. So this is, you gave everyone like a really good sampling of what it's like to debate on the floor. People are really interested. The fictitious government society naturally has a vibes of 0. However, you being a high school patriciate can add +1 to this roll.
Oh.
So
Okay.
let's roll your vibes check.
Rolling the vibes check. I think everyone could kind of tell my heart wasn't in that. I think there was an element of, yes, I made an impassioned speech, but I was sad afterwards. My vibes check is a 5.
A 5. Would you like to lock this in, or will the open house be the determinant?
I'm going to make the open house the determinant.
Sure. So one thing that was really interesting about this is, you give this like big impassioned speech, and then afterwards you like sit back down, you're like shaking hands. And yeah, for people that were kind of undecided, a lot of them were like, well, are we really just like arguing things we don't necessarily believe in? And for some people, they're like, that's perfect. And for other people, they're like, no, I need to do something else. I should join the Volworks and get filthy and injured, So the people that want to join based on, the idea of like rhetoric and fruitful debate are probably going to join based on this. But you're probably not going to have first choice based on this of your big recruits. Finally, let's go to the Umpire Training Academy. You are all not in your headquarters. You are out on the field. What you have standing in the middle of the field is a very old set of Umpire's power armor. This is essentially a training suit. So it's not equipped with like the myriad of absolute lethal weaponry that's on this thing. An Umpire suit of power armor, flamethrowers, rocket launchers, jetpacks, hermetic seals, net launchers, things that are meant to incinerate players. Incinerate or otherwise banish players. This is a training suit, so it's pneumatic. It's got all stuff in it. It's got like non-lethal things. There's like, there's something that'll like fire, fire like foam and stuff like that. But you are Zlobs. Let's actually get an advisor for you. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. The hall monitors don't have an advisor. They're self-run.
It's meant to be a grassroots movement by the students. Having a faculty advisor would really make it, it's too open to corruption.
Yeah, it makes it such a trusted monitoring group. It's really community helping community. Mm-hmm. And also like Lisa Lemonwedge is absolutely impeachable as its leader, so that also helps. But let's come up with an advisor within this vocational program. This advisor is something different. And Joey, I'm going to let you, or Zlobs, I'm going to let you name this person. This person is an actual Blaseball umpire. Mm. Who is it?
Their name is Umpire Sweetwind.
Umpire Sweetwind. Can you give me a couple of words about them?
Yeah, she is someone who can immediately see the truth and see into your soul. Not in a literal way, but someone who can really cut into it. Mm-hmm. And someone who knows how to tell you what you need to hear, even if it's a thing you don't want to hear.
Yeah, Umpire Sweetwind is a traveling umpire. Travels all over the country, umpiring games. Has seen innumerable horrors. Not from Boston originally. Has kind of this Midwestern folksiness to her, which makes, which kind of softens the like absolute hardness of everything, but at the same time turns everything into like really sage advice. So it's one of those things where she can talk to you for 2 minutes, know exactly what the issue is, and then like sit you down and say, hey, you don't have to beat around the bush. I know XYZ, you have to do ABC to fix it. And it's like, it's so disarming that it kind of loops back around to be a little scary.
Mm-hmm. That's so weird. She sounds like I love her.
She's very she's very prescient and very observant.
And it's helpful because she like around her eyes have like a typical scarring of an umpire.
Yeah, it's all kind of like this flared out, like kind of burned and scratched situation. She wears generally so under the power armor, most umpires, I mean, you kind of have to wear it or else you will get burned or eviscerated or chewed up in the own gears. You wear this kind of like arming outfit. So it's like this whole like padded suit that's all like cooled and things like that. And she just wears that all the time as a matter of course. So she kind of looks like she's in like a really like form-fitting spacesuit all the time.
With a polo shirt on top.
Yeah, with a polo shirt on top. So her plan for the day is to let people kind of step into the training power armor for like a few seconds. Like think of like a firefighter's open house where they like let kids like try on the helmet and the backpack and stuff. So it's much the same. This thing is not armed. But so that's what's going on. That's what's going on, Zlobs. The person who seems kind of the most interested in terms of the folks you know is Eagle Patience, who is absolutely floored by the concept of umpiring overall, and the concept of Blaseball, which is very new to her. And so she's kind of like chatting your ear off, asking you questions about all of this. The way she describes, well, we'll play it out for a second. Because you see where I'm from, we must freeze the fish and rub them in salt.
And then you throw the fish.
And then we throw the fish, lest the great creatures of the deep break through the ice and consume the land. It's very straightforward. This seems like a lot of stuff to me.
It's very detail oriented. There's a lot of different things happening, very specific things. It's very traditional. I think that's what the appeal is, that you know what you're going to get every time. Well, yours sounds actually kind of nice. It's kind of freeform, where it's not like the very, very specific set of rules.
It is. It's very, very freeform until the ice breaks. Then it gets less freeform and more. Well, actually, I suppose it gets even more freeform when the ice breaks, because then it's a literal fight for your life. But that's another matter. So nothing's bursting out of the ground to eat entire towns. It's just.
Well, we did fight that giant bird that was going to consume a town or something.
Oh, okay. So maybe we're not so different.
No. I think we face similar levels of horror. I think yours are very concentrated. Ours are like kind of diffuse over time. It's like having like a day of rain versus like an hour of rain, except with death.
Yeah. We have an hour of rain, and that rain could scrub the country clear. She hands you a really weird Canadian candy bar.
I hand her a banana.
No, she takes it, starts eating it. So the two of you have a really good conversation, but you also Zlobs just have like a natural coolness and appeal.
Thank you.
A bunch of people just kind of show up to talk to you. You could kind of do obviously anything you want for the actual open house later. But for right now, within the context of like the field, is there anything you want to do here to like, let people know what being an umpire or what kind of this vocational program is all about?
I have a quick rules question.
Yeah.
The roll later on, is that also a vibe check?
It is not. It's going to be a roll based on whatever you can convince me to let you roll.
Okay, fair enough. Great. I want to tell, I think all the folks who are in this club all have stories, all have experiences where their lives were on the line about facing very tough and steep challenges. So I think having a round circle of encouraging people to share those tough times, show off scars, talk about those moments in very measured ways, just to impress the absolute pants off of everyone around.
When you talk about, so that gets a crowd. When you talk about showing scars, Jolene Wormwood, another member of the Umpire Training Academy, like instinctually rolls up her sleeve to show, kind of this bolted on implant she got during her time on the traveling team that like helps regulate her blood pressure because her heart got partially destroyed in a flashback that maybe we see later.
What?
And,
Oh no.
And so and even Larjo, who is also in the umpire training program, kind of like twists his trunk to the side, and you see a scar from when he fought something in something out in the suburbs beyond the protection of Blittle League.
Zlobs, what scar do you show?
Oh, one of my most proud ones. Well, I go to show off a scar like around my back, but I make eye contact with Susie Chen, and we both like kind of nod to each other, and we don't show that one. But yeah, yeah. Remember, you can see by this scar, I lost all of my ribs. They're back, but they all went away in a very, very silly adventure.
Wait.
Yeah, like you and Susie share an incredibly cool moment. You point to this big crazy scar. There are oohs and ahs. Yeah, let's roll vibes. 2d6.
Oh, my dice went all over the room. One's a 4, and one's a 2.
Okay,
I
so
got a 6.
do you want to lock in that 6, or are we going to push?
I will not lock in that 6. It's not fun when you get a 6. It's fun when everyone else gets a 6.
It's true. It's really true.
You're so lucky it's not episode 100, Joey.
What? What's up?
So yeah, so all of you have a kind of lovely morning. You all debrief at lunch. You kind of talk through kind of everyone who came by, and one thing for sure already is that like more people have signed up for all of your clubs. So like, but you know, the conversation kind of drifts to the big five, so to speak, of Maxwell, Eagle, Slam, Arno, and Susie. And you're all, you know, kind of there being kind of delicate about it. But ultimately, as a team. But ultimately, it's one of those things where, like, all of you, the characters, all of you, like Darby, Zlobs, Mindy, and Morgan, like, all of you are thinking about it like, yeah, I really want, like, we want who we want and all this stuff. But at the same time, it's almost like all of you are kind of not auditioning, but like all of you are going to bring in people that are ultimately going to be friends of this group. Because the meta sitting on top of this day is the fact that the four of you are going to be choosing big, exciting adventures off a list. And so there's like that part of it too, you know? But yeah, so all of you kind of lock in your plan, and you know, the day goes by. There is catering trucks pull up from, you know, the cafeteria's kind of rear door into, you know, or not catering truck, but like catering carts start filling up the cafeteria. And yeah, after a long day of class, everybody loads in, and sitting at tables, walking to various tables, and over the course of the afternoon, kind of every table sort of gets a spotlight moment, and that is kind of the moment that you're about to roll for. So, we're gonna start with the Literary Guild, because the Literary Guild, Darby, you don't need to roll anything. You've got your 11 locked in. So why don't you tell us what the table is like in the cafeteria and how you are having fun today?
So the table is set up. We want it to be really cozy, because the Literary Guild can be pretty cozy. So there's like an actual fire. There's like an actual fire in front of it, so we have to like be doing fire tending and stuff. And then there's, you know, plenty of tea. There's some leftover cupcakes for people to come by, but then we also have this big, like, it's like a bubble gum type machine. And inside there's like those little little thing, like you like put a quarter in and then you twist
like the
it.
1 minute story, or
it's like those little eggs that come out, and then you open it up and there's a little like couplet in each one. So people can come by and get a token, and then get their little slip of paper from the bubblegum machine. And so we tell them that they can do that, and then it's going to give them some sort of like insight if they reflect on what those words mean to them.
Nice. Darby, you and Tootle do a like outstanding job building up the coziness of this. It's one of those things where like there isn't like a bang your glass, big speech at any point. It's just people are coming and going. Like, there are like your table is really an experience. Like there's a fire, like a couple of the cafeteria tables are kind of moved around it. There's a couch. You got like, it's just really comfy.
Also, I was up like really late last night writing some of these, like lines and couplets and stuff to put in the machine. And Zlobs came over because that's what he does when we stay up late. And so he wrote some of them too, which just nobody else in the literary guild knows that. And they're really funny.
Yeah, there's
I'm waiting for someone to get a Zlob slip.
One of what's on a Zlob slip?
It's sometimes it's like little drawings, or it's just like a description of his favorite food. Like it'll just be like a description of like a hot dog in a gusher or something.
There's like a Zlobs' best guess on what like a lemon square might be.
Yeah.
One of them has a treasure map on it.
And sometimes they explode.
Yeah, and sometimes they just pop really loudly. But yeah,
there's one like just like little mini grenade in there.
So it's incredibly comfy, incredibly cozy, and your list of recruits starts growing long. Okay, who wants to go next?
Go, Marissa.
Fine. I'll go next.
Okay. What does the fictitious government society's table or experience look like, feel like, sound like?
All right. So the government fictitious society table, before we make the speech, our table has so we try to do absolutely as much as we could without any money. So people can sign up for more information about how to participate by writing their email address or phone number on a slip and then putting it in a slip box that says pie or cake. Pie is currently winning, but not by much.
Yeah. You're all saving up money because you have a real big field trip.
Yeah.
Like that's another thing.
There's two people who are playing the alma mater song on a trumpet and a French horn. And they're trying to be quiet about it, but they're not doing a very good job. And in some of the other tables, specifically the Alliance for Students Activities has constantly them for interrupting. And then there's a speech.
And what is the speech?
I've been elected to give the speech.
You are elected to give the speech.
The amount of people who want to listen are in attendance.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of wave my hands and say, what you do in high school is the most important years of your life.
Nice.
How you spend your time here means what you'll spend your time after you leave here, because what you do now matters. And everything that you'll see here today, you have to be absolutely proud of. But one thing is for certain is that when we leave high school, our responsibility changes and our power to control the world around us changes. And so I guess the question on my heart tonight and on all of our hearts should be, when we leave here, what do you want your powers to be? I rest my case.
Wild applause. Sounds like a charm roll to me, unless you want to argue something else.
Nope. I'll do charm.
2d6 plus charm. Good luck.
My charm is 3. Oh my god. That is so I just want to say.
Wow. Wow. A 12.
A 12. No,
15.
15 total.
A natural 12.
Okay, so
Wow.
this is this like really profound speech, a call to action. it's not just like civically minded students. Like everybody suddenly thinks it's like, yeah, now's my time. Now's my time to carve into granite who I'm supposed to be. So it's an incredibly important and resonant speech. Nice work. And also, cake is currently beating pie.
Bad timeline.
Which is like all the like there. So the fictitious government society has a bunch of pollsters, and they are totally stunned because they had pie winning by like 3 points.
Yeah,
but it's within the margin of error. There will be debates about this later. Okay, we've got the hall monitors and the umpire training academy left. Who wants to go next?
Kayleigh, would you like to roll off to see who goes last?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
I'll roll off with you.
Highest goes last. Just straight.
Highest goes last. Okay.
Well, wait. Do you want to go last or not go last?
No. That's okay. Highest can go last.
8.
You called it. Oh, 10.
Oh,
all right.
Nice.
Great.
What is the umpire training academy gonna do to win hearts and minds?
Oh, we are showing off the durability and the absolute solidarity of the team and its members and their ability to stay calm under pressure and take and soak in punishment.
I love where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
What does this look like?
This looks like I'm going to go into the power armor, and the chat is going to tell me a series of challenges that Zlobs has to withstand while in the power armor. Things just this onslaught of everyone around just lobbing at, and Zlobs is going to maintain his composure the entire time.
Yep.
GM's discretion.
Starting things off strong. Yeah, so it becomes a rather epic kind of impromptu obstacle course. First and foremost, everyone that still has bananas, peels and eats their bananas, tosses the peels on the floor, and then everyone just starts getting a chant of "Do not fall, do not fall," and so you start like moving in the suit. This is, by the way, the longest you've ever been in this thing. Like until this second, all you knew about this suit, because you've only been at the school for a few days, is like the diagram of its power systems. Mm-hmm. So you're learning as you go, but despite that, unbelievably cool. You also are told at one point to deliver a bunch of food trays to people coming from like the catering section. So you're now on like taco and sloppy Joe delivery. And so this is now a matter of not only balance, but efficiency. So you're like hauling things and moving things, and very few things, if anything, fell. And then finally, Larjo looks at everybody and says, "Zlobs, get outside. Everybody else, look out the window." And sure enough, you get absolutely bodied by a semi-truck.
What? You're kidding.
So yeah, like there's a the Volworks have been working on the Volworks. One of the things they do on
it was Larjo driving the truck, because that's a big truck.
Larjo is driving the truck. Yeah, Larjo is standing on the back of the flatbed, trunk going through the window and steering. So one thing that the Volworks do to fund their because they're all like machinists and stuff, is they buy, restore, and sell like farm equipment and trucks and vans and things. This one, though, just wouldn't sell. No one in Somerville needed a big flatbed truck. And so they said, yeah, we'll donate it to the umpires. And sure enough, it slams headlong into you, Zlobs, and sends you tumbling. And we're going to make the roll now. It seems like a cool roll to me. 2d6 plus cool. Tell me what you get. That'll also determine your landing.
Amazing. I also want to take this opportunity to, because there's a lot of emotions with this, to bottle it up and add a +3 to that roll, please.
Wow.
Whoa.
What's wrong, Kayleigh? What's wrong, Kayleigh?
This is a fun
Normally,
game.
Don't.
I would allow it,
Uh-huh.
but this is the last roll you're gonna make. So, actually,
I'll make a deal. Get Pythias online. I'll make a deal.
okay. There will be
Figuratively, Pythias.
there will be up to -3 in your next session that I can apply. So if you're doing the +3 now, there's going to be a -3 coming as I see fit in the next session. Does that sound like a good deal?
100%.
All right.
Yeah, I was gonna go up to 6. Let's go.
Yeah. So 2d6 plus 6.
Oh no. 2d6 plus 6, 12.
So like the idea of getting hit by a semi truck while literally the entire school watches seemed like a great idea until the truck started coming down the street.
Yeah.
And so just in this moment, you started thinking, you're like, I've been through worse. I've been through worse. I traveled through multiple dimensions. I had all my ribs taken out. Like, I crash landed an energy ship. I did all these things. Like, I have definitely been in more mortal danger than this. And then you're like, wait a minute, I'm about to get hit by a truck driven by an elephant. This might be the worst. And so you had kind of this full round, really wham. And the good news, the suit holds. So the thing doesn't like explode into chunks and like rip you apart. With the 12, you end up kind of like arcing through the air. This thing doesn't have jump jets on it. So you're doing essentially a controlled crash landing, which you end up doing kind of superhero style in the middle of the parking lot, which leads to a great eruption of cheers and also a very specific like subset of the student body is like, I want to do that. Like, so your angle brings a lot of kind of like daredevils into the Umpire's Training Academy.
I want to say both my legs are broken. And I'm going to hide that fact.
Yeah, this thing, like you kind of engage the pneumatics in the suit. The suit is doing the walking for you. You are doing your best not to clearly show the school you have 2 broken legs.
Darby definitely considered trying to fly to help him while he was in his arc, but knew that he would never forgive her if she caught him. That would be the end of the friendship.
Your heart was in the right place, but your mind was also in the right place. You're like 95% chance he lives, and like he lands. You're like, okay. And then you're like, oh, he broke his legs, but only I know that because I've seen him break his legs before.
Yeah. Zlobs immediately like put down his shades over his eyes, and that's a bad sign.
Yeah.
That's a bad sign.
I'd like a word. I'd like a word with Zlobs.
There's a Mindy Zlobs tete-a-tete.
Good afternoon, hall monitor.
Zlobs,
Yes.
are your legs broken?
Oh, yep.
Come sit down behind my booth.
Okay. Ow.
I'm going to start to take the Umpire armor off.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of like emergency pressure release switches and stuff, and you end up kind of like getting him out of the. It's like crawling into like a diving bell. Like you could kind of like yank him fully out of the suit without like taking it all apart, and that's what you do. His legs are broken. Like no bones about it.
I'm going to start to split his legs.
Yeah.
Oh,
gotcha.
Zlobs,
yeah.
are you trying to recruit Susie Chen?
Yeah.
You know she loves watching people get hit by cars.
Yeah.
Do you really think she can be trusted?
As
a part of the Umpire Training Academy? It's a big responsibility.
Yeah. We both served together, and on traveling team.
Yeah,
I
but
never
that was-
once was worried that she would not have my back, especially after that.
That was a
dual
long
mission.
time ago, Zlobs. A lot's
Yeah.
happened since then.
I trust her.
Unbeknownst to both of you, and normally you would both observe this, but you're in this moment, Susie Chen is sitting on a cafeteria table, her feet on the bench, drinking a can of chocolate milk, just like watching this interaction, not saying a word. Keep going.
Me and her haven't spoken since.
I'm sorry.
Well, I trust you to make the right decision.
would you trust her as a hall monitor?
I don't know.
Or would you just want her around so you can keep an eye on her and continuing to not talk to her?
Look, just let me worry about hall monitor business. Whatever club she's on, I know that you and I will do what's right. And we'll keep an eye to make sure that, the right thing is being done. Right?
Of course. You can always trust me. I always
I
have
know
your
that.
back.
I've never not once doubted that.
I know. And I give Mindy a hug. And
It hurts immeasurably.
Yeah.
Zlobs.
do you have any ibuprofen in there?
Yeah, hold on. I take out the little packet of ibuprofen from my first aid kit.
No, I need a bottle.
Zlobs, you can't take a bottle of ibuprofen.
They also said I couldn't get hit by a semi truck, but here we are.
You can take 3.
Yeah, Mindy's orders is 3, and even that's pushing.
Oh, I never get above 2 before.
Both your legs are broken, so
I chomp on them.
And yeah, Zlobs, you are.
She's like, chomp? Are you chewing
yeah.
them?
Yes, I need it now. I need it.
It releases
now.
the flavor.
Oh my god.
It tastes like dry. So yeah, Zlobs, you think that what you don't know, but what we the audience do is that, while this is going on, like the Volworks are making their presentation, it involves like a lot of explosions, and at one point someone screams. And so what you don't realize is that everyone's eyes were on that except for Susie Chen's, who is watching you. Finally, the hall monitors. Lisa Lemonwedge kind of looks at the school. All right, everybody, attention. You all know me. You have known me for the last 3 years. I'd like to think that you can trust me. I certainly trust all of you. And I think the reputation of the hall monitors stands for itself. Now that I have everyone's attention, there's something I have to say. Please welcome Mindy Bathers. And they point, Lisa points to you. So Mindy, what do the hall monitors do?
Okay, I have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's a plan I'm hoping you'll think John is a pretty sharp plan, if I do say so myself.
At least I avoided the word cool. In my
Hey. Listen to my plan. So I would love to stand up and give an impassioned speech about the importance of this community-run safety committee and how important I think it is in our school. But listen, I'm honest with myself. I'm no Morgan. This would not be effective. I'm standing up and already my hands are shaking, holding my little note cards. It's not what I do. But I hired somebody from the drama club. And it is listen, I hired someone from the drama club. This is all above board. I have chief's approval on this, and it is all there's forms involved. There's no IOU favors. We don't do that on the hall monitors. Okay. In the middle of my speech, I'm going to start talking about the hall monitors, and someone from the drama club is going to interrupt me by running into the cafeteria and screaming, "Help, help, I need somebody's help right now. Please help me. I need someone's help. It's an emergency." Then some people, I've told all the current hall monitors that we are not to run over and provide any help. So I'm going to be looking. This is my way of seeing who's really cut out to be a hall monitor, who runs over and offers help to this person on the drama club. But that's not all. I'm sure that some people running over are expecting to be some kind of hero, right? Some kind of make a big show of it, do something really impressive. But that's not all that the hall monitors are about. There is a lot of important work to do that isn't heroic and isn't a big show. So when somebody runs over to the drama club member, they are actually going to say, "I really need help because somebody spilled some water in the hallway and there isn't a slippery be cautious sign. Someone walking by on their way to class could slip, or somebody walking by on their way to leave school, since it's the end of the day, could slip and fall and get hurt. I need someone, it's an emergency, to find a custodian who might have a slippery sign like that." Now, this isn't glamorous, this isn't heroic, but it's the kind of work that hall monitors should really take seriously because it is a student safety issue. Now, I'm looking to see who in the crowd not only runs over to the drama club student, but also says, "Of course, that is important. You do need help," and quickly acts to find a solution. And I'm going to approach that person and say, "I really think you have what it takes to be a hall monitor." And that's my plan. Lisa,
Here's what's
trusted
gonna
me to
happen.
come up with this.
It's perfect. We're going to roll 2d6 plus sharp. Then we are going to do the draft. And then we are going to see what happens. See what happens here.
Okay.
2d6 plus sharp, please.
Plus sharp plus 1.
Plus 1 for some reason?
Yeah,
Oh,
why
I
plus
thought
one?
maybe
Plus
you would
hubris.
just think that was appropriate.
I celebrate the boldness. I'm not going to give you a plus 1, but if you tie anyone, it's a tiebreaker. How about that?
Okay, that's I'll take it.
All right. Roll good luck.
That's a 4.
Oh.
Plus 3 is a 7. Maybe causing a disturbance with someone yelling, "Help, help, it's an emergency" in a school cafeteria was not such a good idea.
Yeah, especially with
We're gonna see what happens.
Okay.
It is now time to draft. Let's bring up the chart.
Here it is.
Okay. First spot. This is probably too much to ask to somehow also see our faces, right? I just want to make sure we can see.
Let me just see. It shouldn't affect my audio, but sometimes it does. But we'll see.
All
Maybe make it tiny right in the middle. Oh, that's better.
Hey,
That's a way better
nicely
idea.
done.
There we go.
Because I want us all to see each other because, we can talk this all out, of course. Fictitious government society. Maxwell Horn, Eagle Patience, Slam Seismic, Arno the Player, Susie Chen. Who would you like?
Arno the Player.
Arno the Player it is. Arno the player walks up to you afterwards. Like, there's a big line of people signing up, talking to you, shaking your hand, all of that. A couple of like underclassmen kind of get out of the way so Arno doesn't have to wait. And Arno walks up to you, shakes your hand. You saved my life this morning. And you gave me something to do my senior year of high school.
Just don't run against me for class president.
He shakes your hand and smiles, and you smile too, but neither of your eyes are smiling.
Okay.
Perfect first choice.
Are they even in the same class?
Oh, I love it. Up next, Umpire Training Academy. Who do you choose?
Umpire Training Academy is going to delay 1 round.
Mhm.
Umpire Training Academy delays 1 round. Literary Guild.
Oh.
Who do you choose?
Oh, okay.
Hold on, let me bring up the bring up the big board.
This is tough because there's just so many good options. But I'm Darby's feeling a real sort of like connection to Eagle Patience,
Yeah.
and feels like this could be like a real good way for her to have a place in the school.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
You are sitting on a couch facing the fire, stoking it while Dadiel and Toodle and a couple of the other Literary Guild members are signing people in. Eagle Patience sits down on the couch next to you, kind of looks into the fire.
Oh, hold on. Let me play the fire.
This looks just like the fireplace.
Sorry, Eagle, I can't hear you for some reason.
Oh, it's the crackling of the wood.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me turn down the fire.
This looks like the fireplace in my parents' basement.
Oh, do you miss it?
Yeah. But after today, I think I'm going to be okay with missing it.
Oh.
You will. I
She
promise.
smiles. And she believes you. Back around to the Umpire Training Academy.
The Umpire Training Academy is going to delay.
No, Joey.
Hole
Take your
monitors.
round. For real? Can't wait for that -3 coming next episode.
Who do the hole monitors select?
Susie Chen will join the hall monitors.
Locked in.
There it is.
Umpire Training Academy. Final pick. Slam Seismic, Maxwell Horn.
Slam Seismic.
Slam Seismic it is. Locked in. There is a great there's a great amount of joy in the cafeteria. The students that didn't know where they would have a home now have a home. and there's already like laughter and the nascent little bits of inside jokes starting to form. You look around, and all of you who are starting to kind of glom together and look at your various lists, just kind of nod. You feel like you've all done really well. You look over at the clowning and circus fashion hobby group, and you see Detective Maxwell Horn staring into the middle distance, describing what he had to eat in prison overseas, while Harper's Bazaar fits him for a new fun hat. We'll call it right there. A few minutes earlier, the hallway. The open house is still going. People are signing up. The drama club kid takes a bow to you, Mindy, because you're the only one in the hallway, because you're out there waiting for someone to come out.
Great job.
And off they go.
We'll see who comes. Thanks.
And you're looking at like the little pool of water on the floor, and you're waiting for the double doors to open, and you're waiting, and the double door opens, and kind of at the double step emerges Susie Chen, and she looks at the water, and she looks at you, and then she looks at the water, and then heads to a janitor's closet and grabs a caution wet floor sign and puts it down. And she puts her hand on it and leans and looks you in the eye. Hey.
What are you doing?
I don't know. We'll end it right there.
We see in the cafeteria, strewn upon the ground, so many banana peels. Zlobs sitting on a bench goes to get up as someone screams and it helps. Takes a half step up and decides, nope. And Zlobs looks over and sees Susie Chen approaching. Hey, Susie.
Zlobs. Really left it all out on the field there.
Yeah. I thought to go a little bit beyond, but it kind of reminded me of the time when we both went on that duo mission. Yeah.
We should have had backup, but we didn't.
No, we sure did not. But you said that you owed me a favor.
I did.
After that.
I'm true to my word. You still haven't cashed it,
I know. I never actually planned on cashing it, but I thought I'd ask you. Do you mind keeping an eye on Mindy? I support her. And I trust her. But I want to make sure that she does the right thing as a hall monitor. And before you go, Susie, she misses you.